Every great founder eventually hits a moment that no one warned them about. The skills that got you here, the grit, the obsession, the relentless need to control everything, those same skills will one day destroy everything you've built. This is the founder's dilemma, and it has ended more promising companies than bad timing, bad markets, or bad luck ever could. In the beginning, being a founder means being everything. You are the product manager, the salesperson, the developer, and yes, sometimes the janitor. You live and breathe your company. You answer every customer email, you know every line of code. You're the first one in, the last one out. And here's the thing, that obsession is exactly why you win. In the early days, no one cares as much as you do. No one can care as much as you do. Your competitors are running on borrowed belief. You're running on something real. This is what we call the builder phase. It's the startup crucible where companies are forged, not on spreadsheets, but on sheer will, where the product gets made at 2 a.m. because you simply would not stop. And it works. The hustle, the intensity, the refusal to delegate, it's all part of the formula that takes a company from zero to its first $1 million in revenue. You're not just building a product, you're proving something to the world. But here's what nobody tells you. The skills that win the builder phase become liabilities the moment the company starts to scale. At some point, usually somewhere between $1 and $10 million in revenue, something quietly shifts. The thing that used to work starts to fail. You're hiring more people, but every decision still flows through you. Every product launch needs your approval. Every senior hire is your call. Every strategy is your idea. Every direction comes from you. Except now you're overwhelmed. The company is moving slower than it ever has. Talented people you hired, the best you could find, are leaving because they feel controlled, because they can't own anything, because they never get room to lead. Your best engineers complain they can never get real time with you. Customers are waiting weeks for answers on decisions that should take hours, and you're somehow working harder than you ever have in your life, while the company quietly gets worse. This is the founder's plateau. Almost every successful startup hits it. It's not a sign that you're a bad leader. It's a sign that you've outgrown your own operating system. In the builder phase, centralized control was a feature. It was fast, it was focused, it was you. But organizations that scale past a certain point need something fundamentally different. Distributed decision-making. They need leaders who can act without asking permission. They need systems, not heroes. And that's the crisis, because you haven't built any of that. You've built a company that runs on you, which means if you step back even slightly, everything breaks. Now let's name what's actually happening here. The founder's dilemma. The real paradox is this. The traits that make someone an exceptional early-stage founder are the exact traits that make someone a destructive, later-stage CEO. Control turns into bottlenecks. Conviction becomes closed-mindedness. Impatience becomes poor decisions made too fast. Perfectionism becomes the inability to ship. The organization has grown, but the leader hasn't evolved. And the result is a company that hits a ceiling it cannot break through. Not because of market conditions, not because of competitors, but because of the person at the top. And here's the painful part. The founder isn't doing anything wrong in their own mind. They're doing exactly what made them successful. They're being intense, involved, decisive. They just can't see that what once worked is now the problem. The market doesn't wait for you to figure this out. Competitors who have already solved this, who have already made the transition from operator to executive, they're moving. Every month you spend stuck in the builder phase is a month someone else is eating your market. Look at the history of great companies and you'll find this pattern repeated again and again. Steve Jobs was famously forced out of Apple in 1985. His own board couldn't work with him. He was too controlling, too volatile, too unwilling to let go of his vision long enough to let others execute. Many at the time thought it was the right call. Apple was struggling under the weight of his need to control everything. What changed everything wasn't the firing, it was what happened after. Jobs spent 12 years at Next and Pixar. For the first time, he learned how to lead large, complex organizations without touching every decision himself. He built management structures. He hired executives he actually trusted to deliver. He evolved from a brilliant operator into something different, a visionary CEO who knew how to build a machine. When he returned to Apple in 1997, he was not the same founder who'd been pushed out. He was still obsessive, still demanding, still impossible in many ways. But now that intensity was directed through systems and teams, not by one person trying to do everything himself. The same story repeats with Jack Dorsey, who was removed from Twitter, forced to grow, and returned with a fundamentally different operating style. It repeats with Brian Chesky at Airbnb, who nearly lost his company during the pandemic because he'd never built the management infrastructure to handle a crisis at scale. The near collapse became the forcing function for his own transformation. What these founders share isn't just extraordinary talent, it's the willingness, at some painful inflection point, to acknowledge that the company needs something different from them, that the job description has fundamentally changed, that being a great founder and being a great CEO are two completely different skill sets, and that the gap between them is exactly where great companies either grow or die. So how do you actually make this transition? There are 4 moves that matter. First, build systems that outlast your attention. Document everything, create playbooks, build the processes that allow your company to run without you having to be in every room. Second, hire for where you're going, not where you are. The team that got you to $1 million is rarely the team that gets you to 10 million. This is one of the hardest truths in startup building, and the founders who avoid it pay a steep price. Third, let go of decisions that don't actually require you. Create a real framework for what genuinely needs your judgment and what doesn't. Then, enforce it. This alone can change the trajectory of your company. Fourth, and this is the hardest one, find someone to hold you accountable to the new way of operating. A board member, a coach, an advisor who will call you out when you slip back into founder mode, because you will, and you'll need someone to catch you. The founders who master this transition don't just build great companies, they build companies that outlast them. The founder's dilemma is not a failure of character. It's a natural, predictable stage in the evolution of every company that actually gets somewhere. The fact that you're hitting it means you've built something real. But recognizing it, naming it, and doing the work to evolve, that is what separates the companies that go from great startups to enduring businesses, from the ones that stay small forever. If you want more deep dives like this one, honest, direct lessons about what it actually takes to build something that lasts.